The David Brooks video basically talked about the difference between resume and eulogy virtues. So what I think resume virtues are is basically what your skills are, like what you bring to the workplace, what you want to use to impress people who might hire you, or maybe your colleagues or people who work in the same field as you. It is basically the skills we want to show off. They're things that maybe we're like proud of, not with our character, but what we're good at, compared to eulogy virtues, which David Brooks kind of explains as the deeper virtues, things that matter more, or that should matter more, such as our religion, our belief, our values. And I also kind of thought of it as the connections we have with people, like who we are to others and what they think of us as people, which is kind of what a eulogy has to do with, because people talk about what someone was to them. I think that we focus more on resume virtues sometimes in our everyday life, especially in school, because the things that we are learning usually are going towards our goals of what we want to accomplish in school and what we want to be doing in the future after we're done with our schooling. So usually we're focusing on our resume virtues rather than who we are to the people around us, because our lives right now are revolving mostly around school. Right now, I can say that I never really gave much thought to the difference between resume and eulogy virtues. I've never really heard that like analogy of it, but now that I have heard it and I know what it is, I definitely think that I can think back on times in my life where I focused on one more than the other, and I can think of times when my friends or people around me focused on one more than the other. As for which is more important, I definitely think that eulogy values are more important. I think that we should value more of who we are to the people around us and not what they think of us, but who we are to them, how we affect their lives. Are we a positive person in their life or not? I think that when you're focusing only on resume values, you are focusing so much on your work and your skills that you forget about what life is really about. And you can't just focus on life or you can't just focus on work, because that would be miserable. You don't want to wake up every day and not look forward to what you're going to do. You need to have something else giving you value in your life besides work. As for which question of meaning that Nash and Murray explained that I've spent the most time thinking about, for right now, I said that probably the how well am I handling the freedom of college and being away from home for the first time really hits home for me right now and before I came to college, because I'm a very big homebody. I'm not used to being on my own. I've never lived on my own. I've never been away from home for very long. I want to be with my family. I like to be with my family. That's where I feel comfortable at. That's just where I love to be. That's my home. So I think that that's what I've been focusing on the most lately, and kind of figuring out how to handle that and how am I handling it. I would say that so far I'm handling it fine. I don't think I'm handling it amazingly or the best, but I'm not handling it bad either. I think that we're all kind of on a learning curve of which one, and I think in that we're trying to balance our values and find out what works for us, and managing our time and our social lives and homework and everything else. And then which one of the 5 cycles that Nash and Murray explained best describes where I am right now? I said somewhere between the 1st and the 5th cycle, because I think I'm doing a good job kind of realizing that I'm independent and on my own, but at the same time I know that I am in control of where I am, but realistically I know that there are boundaries for me, but I want to reach my full potential anyways.